Good Saturday morning, everyone. Today on Perspectives, the mayor of Mobile has an ambitious plan for the port city as he enters his third term in office. Now this morning, a one-on-one conversation with Mobile Mayor Sandy Stimpson. Mayor Stimpson calls it the 100-day plan and promises that his agenda, if approved, will move several goals and projects forward. Now, just to mention a few of the 7 focus areas, they're designed to promote public safety, infrastructure, city growth, the economy, and the resiliency as a city. The theme for Stimpson's administration's term is Uniting Mobile Through Action. The 100-day agenda is titled Protect Mobile, Grow Mobile, Hire Mobile, Connect Mobile, Enjoy Mobile, and finally, Visit and Ready Mobile. All plans are designed to get the ground moving when it comes to public safety, the roads, parks, and landscaping, and encouraging an increasingly interested tourist market. Mayor Stimpson says that his goal is to fulfill what he calls the original vision of One Mobile when he was first elected, and that is to create a safer, more business and family-friendly city. In his previous 2 terms of office, the Stimpson administration has seen success and also more than its share of crisis and issues. The number of shootings and homicides have increased in recent months. The COVID pandemic has threatened the Mobile economy, and concerns about the city population leaving for the suburbs without the question of and discussion of annexation continues. So, where does the city of Mobile go from here with a mayor in his 3rd term of office and a practically new city council based on retirements, a beloved city councilman's death, and 4 new councilmen voted into office? A lot to discuss this morning with Mobile Mayor Sandy Stimpson when Perspectives continues after this quick break. Our guest this morning, Mobile Mayor Sandy Stimpson, and we're talking about Mayor Stimpson's 100-day plan of action for the city of Mobile. And of course, Mayor Stimpson is called Uniting Mobile Through Action. Thanks for joining us this morning.
It's great to be here, Eric.
You know, some people are saying that you have a very ambitious 100 days here. I'm sure your staff is holding on to make sure that you're able to get all these different areas focused on and the attention brought to each one. But you've already been busy prior to this interview making some things happen. Give us an idea of how important this 100-day plan of action is for you.
Well, we think it's tremendously important to set the tone for the 3rd term, Eric, because we realize with all the things that we have to do that we can't do it by ourselves. It can't just come out of the administration. It's got to be a collaborative effort with the community and with our partners across the stakeholders across the city. And so what we're trying to do in this first 100 days is show people that all across this city there's so many things going on that they can participate in to help us move this ball forward at a rate that possibly we haven't seen before.
Now you've got 7 focus areas that you're looking at attacking during this first 100 days, including infrastructure and public safety. Give us an idea of what some of the prime focus areas are.
So Connect Mobile is the first one that we refer to because our primary responsibility, is, Protect Mobile is the first one because of our responsibility for the safety of our citizens. The second one is Grow Mobile. We've got to grow the city to be a city of over 200,000. Then we have Connect Mobile, which is all about infrastructure. It's Enjoy Mobile, things that Mobilians need to be doing or that we want to provide for them to do to have a better quality of life. Visit Mobile, and I think everybody understands we want to have a good experience for our visitors. But you also have Hire Mobile. It's about economic development and job opportunities. And then it kind of closes out with what we say a Ready Mobile, which means being a resilient city, no matter what comes our way, to be prepared to bounce back and get back in business again.
You know, so many areas there that you're focused on, of course, that people are throughout the news that we are running on a daily basis. We're dealing with some of those issues. Talk a bit about the public safety area, because a lot of concern right now about the amount of homicides we're having, the amount of shootings and senseless violence. And of course, we've got a brand new chief on the job as well as a new public safety director, but they're both sort of acquainted with what's going on in the port city. How are you going to work through those agencies to make some things change?
So when I think about where our community is and where the nation is regarding public safety, you have to wonder what has happened across the city and the nation to have this crazy increase in violent crime. And I think COVID has an impact on it, because all across the country, because of COVID being in jails and in prisons, we let a lot of people out of jail and prison early. And in Mobile, we have a lot of suspects, people that have been charged with murder, that we've had released from the jail. And so from a policing standpoint, we have a plan, and we'll have a better plan when we roll out a new five-year plan. But we've got to have cooperation from the courts to reinstate and try to have criminal trials to catch up how far we've fallen behind because they didn't meet for so long.
Yes.
And then it comes back also to community, I'd say, doing something differently. I heard a captain speaking at a church the other night, a captain on MPD, and he said, we're out here in the community trying to help the citizens. And so when we come up onto a crime scene and we start asking, who knows what, nobody says anything. There seems to be this unwillingness to engage with the police to help us to protect them, which is one of the crazy things, I guess, going on, not just Mobile, but around. But by doing different things and trying to collaborate and build that trust in the community, hopefully we'll be able to do, a better job with the courts, policing, and community collaboration.
Yeah, so important, all those working together. How do you get the judges to understand what I know the DA, because DA Rich, she talks about it, and of course Public Safety Director Batiste, and then of course our new chief, and you from the mayor's office about, we don't need these people walking around when they have already been charged and accused of committing a murder.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very demoralizing for our policemen to arrest and rearrest the same people and not see them, have the trials that are so necessary to decide whether they go to prison or not. And I hope the judges, by either listening to interviews like this or listening to the DA's opinion on it, they realize that they are an integral part. And right now, the part that really seems to be falling short is in that area, because there are people that are in jail that need to go to prison, and hopefully from a standpoint of something occurring from a rehabilitation standpoint, it would be able to impact them. But until that point in time, there are people that do not need to be walking the street, and the only way to put them away is through the court system.
Let's talk infrastructure. Alabama made aware of some big dollars headed this way due to the new bill signed in Washington under the Biden administration. And of course, some of your Alabama mayor counterparts were there to also talk about it. Are you excited about the funds that are coming this way?
Well, of course I'm excited about it. How could you not be excited about the money that's being talked about being spent on infrastructure? But at the same time, I'm concerned because having visited with other mayors and governors at the White House, when this was leading up to the signing of the bill and the actual creation of the bill, there are so many infrastructures all across the country, and we're fortunate to have someone as significant and influential as Senator Shelby, being able to help direct dollars to the city of Mobile, and Congressman Carl. But there are a lot of people in line trying to make sure they get some of those dollars. But we have made a very compelling case that when you look at the I-10 bridge, you look at the building of the terminal at Brooklyn, and you also think about the things that we have the opportunity to do at the port. I mean, we are a textbook example of what some of the money that would be coming from this bill would help, move not just the city of Mobile forward, but absolutely help commerce along the Gulf Coast and really the United States, especially because of the port.
Talk about the enjoy and the visit Mobile concept when we talk about the cruise ship coming back, and you're waiting on, I guess, the firm date, and then also about the Amtrak, because a lot of folk are excited about that too.
So let's talk about enjoy Mobile first. For years, decades, we've been talking about what are we going to do to improve the visitor experience, and really that had to do with helping increase our revenue because of dollars that would be, tax dollars that would be generated from tourism. But nobody's really paused very long and said, hey, what are we doing for Mobilians to enjoy Mobile? And so that is hugely important because people today can pretty much live where they want to live. And a lot of it has to do with quality of life. And so what am I going to do for enjoyment on whether it's a Thursday afternoon or a Friday night over the weekend? And so we are so fortunate to have a team in place that has really addressed the entertainment aspect of things that Mobilians can do. And the amount of money that we've spent in parks, I mean, I don't think that you can go into a single park that doesn't have a new playing surface, a new playground, or a rec center that doesn't have fresh paint on it and some modernization going on. And the list is very long, you know,
Yes.
and there's a lot of I guess, competition for those dollars, but we have made a significant impact on it, and we will continue to do that so that Mobilians don't have to go somewhere else to enjoy their leisure time.
Yeah, that's so important.
When you look at Brooklyn by the Bay, I mean, you know, that's in
Yes.
the future, but that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that one indeed.
Yeah.
And I've seen Dog River Park transform here in the last year, the things that you've done there to increase the experience of fun for both the young ones and of the fishermen. They are extremely pleased with the pier work and things that have been done there. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Mayor Stimpson, we'll talk more about your first 100-day plan of action, as well as some of the other issues taking place in the city of Mobile. Perspectives continues in just a moment. Welcome back to Perspectives. Our very special guest this morning, Mobile Mayor Sandy Stimpson, and we're talking about that 100-day plan of action for his first 100 days of his third term as mayor here in Mobile. Mayor Stimpson, one of the areas that you're focused on also is Hire Mobile, and a lot of people say that some of the problems that we have with the crime and some of the violence stems from people not getting gainful employment based on their skill level. How do you hope for that to work into changing that perspective?
So, Eric, I'm really excited from the things that I hear from Superintendent Threadgill that they're doing at the high school level to engage and direct our students on a pathway to where they can develop skill levels while still in high school. This past week I was in Charleston with Dr. Brandenburg, the new president of Bishop State. And we visited a magnificent facility that has to do with training for the aviation industry, but also machining, programming of programmable controllers and so forth. And Dr. Brandenburg has had vast experience at other colleges and having the duplicate tracks where you're in high school and you're also at the community college, so that really by the time you get out of high school you are very close to having some skill levels that you wouldn't otherwise have.
That's good.
And so there are a lot of things that that Airbus is doing and other industry that's doing from, let's say, an apprentice standpoint. So I know that we've identified the things that we need to do, and I think there's collaboration going on that maybe hadn't existed to the degree that's happening today. So I'm very hopeful and optimistic about what we'll do there.
Let's talk about Grow Mobile. You were talking about those numbers, and we know that right on the edge of the city, outside the city limits, are so many residential areas that grew up over the years, and we're needing to find a way to work all of that in to where you're seeing the growth of Mobile, at the same time a positive welcome and these people seeing that they need to be a part of the city. How do you make that happen?
Well, it's got to happen through annexation, but when we talked about growing the city of Mobile, we knew there were two components. One is, what are we going to do inside the existing city limits, especially in areas where you've had declining population, and that's why we have focused so much and talked so much about affordable housing, and then in addition to the annexation. And so right now we are looking at an annexation plan and how many people that we can bring into the city to get across what we think is a magic threshold number of 200,000. But I'd also say, and I hope Mobilians realize this, if we have the political will, we could be the largest city in the state of Alabama.
That's right.
And there's a lot of things that go along with that, but there's tremendous impact that the city impact upon the city if we can get over the 200,000 from the standpoint of grant money.
Do you think people are more open-minded for that now than, say, in the last 10 years, or where are we with that?
Well, I think there's an understanding now that did not occur during the last campaign for annexation. And when we kept making the comment about the 200,000 threshold, and I think people just kind of brushed that off. Well, the fact of the matter is, when you look at what Birmingham received from some of the money that came about because of COVID, they received $50 million more than the city of Mobile, and really more than that. But we think that we can show that the city of Mobile would have received an additional $50 million to be spent in those areas of the city that are in the most need. And you can't just blow that off. And so our hope is that that resonates with people, but also recognizing we're not just trying to grow to the west of Mobile. We're trying to fix the things that have been broken inside the city limits. With the blight reduction program, and we really heard a couple of interesting things in Charleston that are being done in North Charleston and Charleston that could really give us a boost in some of the inner city areas.
That's good to hear that you're looking at other areas that have been successful in bringing these types of changes about. When you look at the new numbers now, talking about the city now being a majority city as it relates to percentages and population, how do you see working that annexation with that so that everybody feels that they are not losing the strengths that they have already?
Yeah. Well, Eric, you can annex. You can do a lot of annexing without changing that demographic. I mean, there's a lot of room in there. And, it's sad that sometimes when people are just against something, it boils down, to racism. And I hope that doesn't become the issue here. But in that regard, if you look at where the city of Mobile was when Mayor Jones was elected, the demographics were predominantly white. I got elected when they're predominantly black. And so, for those that think it's just got to be a certain way and they can control what the destiny and what the future is, I just think that they're wrong, and I hope that they'll give all the citizens in this community an opportunity to be a part of the city of Mobile.
You've got a brand new council pretty much now to work with. Do you think that you've got folks coming in now who are more on the page that you're on?
I think so. Yeah, I'm really excited about working with the new city council. I noticed that some of the cars are there earlier and staying later, and I've actually bumped into one of them, and he said, "Mayor, I have a lot to learn," and so the only way to do it is to get here early and do a lot of reading. So I'm very, very hopeful that they will embed themselves into the background of some of these major issues and opportunities that we're dealing with, and come out on the right side.
Mayor, under your Protect Mobile category, let's talk about Ladd-Peebles Stadium. A lot of folks concerned now. We've lost the current season, and of course the season is about to wrap up completely, but the high school's not playing that Ladd for the rest of this season, and now just the announcement last week or so about the Senior Bowl, and so that leaves basically the Classic there as the one remaining game. Tell us what you're expecting for Ladd, and how will this latest violent incident change the future?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, because of the I'm going to say the geographical the geography of the facility and how many gates it has and how large it is, the school board is very, very firm as they're not going to play any more games at Ladd as it stands today. And it all has to do with being able to protect, the teams, protect the visitors and all, and it's just very difficult to do because of the size of the facility, unlike what you would have on a campus. And so when the the Senior Bowl and the other bowl left, and now all you have are, let's say, the HBCU schools that are really interested in whether it's a bowl game or just a season game there, we need to figure out how can we accommodate that. But it's going to take a fresh look. I mean, there's 7 years ago when we started talking about the deterioration in Ladd. Every year, because of the age of the structure, because of the rust and the corrosion on the steel, it becomes kind of like a boat that's old and worn out. It just becomes a money pit.
Yes.
But there is a future there. We just have to figure out who do we collaborate with, and how do we make it happen.
Mayor Stimpson, we've got about 30 seconds left. give us a closeout here of something you want to tell the citizens.
So I'm as excited about the next 4 years, more excited than maybe I was in the first term, because we know so much more. We have built relationships, partnerships, and now's the time to reach out. If you've been standing on the sideline, I hope you'll get off the sideline and join with us in uniting this city into one Mobile to become a safer, more business and family-friendly city.
Mobile Mayor Sandy Stimpson now in his third term, and of course we're all excited about this 100-day action plan, and we look forward to a lot of success for your administration and the city, of course.
Thank you, Eric.
And for more information on Mayor Sandy Stimpson's 100-day plan for the City of Mobile, please check out the Mayor's website at thecityofmobile.org, or you can call the Mayor's office at this number, area code 251-208-7395. And of course, they surely would love to hear from you and your suggestions for a continued dynamic, progressive Mobile. Up next on Perspectives, there are rising concerns about the violence, the shootings, and homicides in the port city this year, and previous numbers are disheartening, as well as the age of the suspects and victims. And we can't leave out gender, as teenage and young adult women are also being assaulted, shot, and killed. And some females have been arrested as the aggressors. The incidents are happening all too frequently, so some community and religious leaders are stepping up. They say what's happening in Mobile is a plague that cannot be ignored. It must be confronted. We talk with leaders of Faith in Action, Alabama Mobile Hub. Now, they are promoting peace through their Stop, Live Now, Advance Peace initiative. The purpose? To stop the violence and live for the possibilities of today and tomorrow. Well, please join us here next Saturday morning for Perspectives as we discuss those important issues and seek solutions. If you have any ideas, just drop us a line here at perspectives@fox10tv.com. I'm Eric Reynolds. Have a great week ahead.
Thanks for watching Fox 10 News. Watch us live wherever you are, on our mobile, our streaming news app, and you can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.